This is a beginning point. This is the beginning of the rest of my life. I got the meaning, and I got to write it down, because I don't want to forget it.
Just win, baby.
And welcome back to the Gold Jacket Podcast with me, your host, as always, Gymnastic. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Connor Donald. Connor, man, how you been?
I've been good, man. I am hyped for the draft, wearing my Eagles with pride before Howie screws something up on Thursday night. But I am excited. It's draft week, and I just love draft week. And to get us going for draft week this week, we got a very special guest with us. He is the Footwork King. That is Rischad Whitfield. You can find him on Instagram, Footwork_King. And on Twitter, he had to get a new Twitter handle. He's at Footwork_King 2. What is up, man?
What's up, man? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me too, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Always,
Thanks for
man.
coming. We are so pumped because we want to talk about running backs. We want to talk about wide receivers. We want to talk about everything to do with footwork. And we'll bring it back to fantasy because that's what we do best. But we just wanted you on for the footwork aspect and the football aspect and bringing a whole different, unique look on everything everything that we don't normally get to see.
Yeah. It's more of the detailed stuff, you know. Y'all get to see the 40. I mean, which is, you know, I don't know where it ever comes into play in NFL. You can't tell me one running back that. I mean, the last time I seen a running back break over 60 yards might have been Happy maybe or Saquon, but it's nothing likely. So, you know, even receivers, you don't see receivers, you know. I think the goal ball is probably low percentage throw, so you don't see a lot of that. So, the 40's out of it. So, and the strength test and all that kind of stuff, I do the football stuff, you know, the stuff that I think matters. The testing stuff is cool, but it don't show anything to me. I mean, they say it translates, but I don't know which one does. You know, the vertical, good, you know, the broad, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could test explosiveness, but I just don't know nobody going to be jumping that far on the field anyways. But I'm more mechanics, forward mechanics, technique at whatever position the athlete plays. That's why I train so many pro guys at different positions. From, you know, I think if they would have kept Rasul over there and ran cover 2, I would have had 4 Eagles in the secondary: Slay, Roby Coleman, Arnold, and Rasul Douglas. That defense didn't. Rasul should have been at safety. I'm like, he should have been at safety. Get him off corner.
I love Rasul Douglas. I don't even want to get started about Rasul Douglas, man. When the Eagles let him go, I was like, man, you gotta let him do what he does best, and that's either play up on him or let him be a safety. But he was not made for the Jim Schwartz defense and you do it his way or the highway defense. But breaks my heart, man. He was one of my favorite corners, one of my favorite.
Well, you know, they moved Jannard Avery. I trained Jannard Avery, so they moved him to linebacker, which he should have been playing in the first place. I said that last year. So when Jannard Avery gets back out here this offseason, I'm working on coverage and stuff with him.
Awesome. This is so cool. So cool to get this insight. Let's kick it off there, Jim, with the first question.
Absolutely. So you were talking about technique and some big name clients there. I was actually wondering, which is your quickest client in terms of improving their technique?
The quickest one to improving their technique. It all depends on what we're working on. Like release-wise, a lot of the receivers got good footwork. A lot of the defensive backs got good footwork. But everything I do receiver and defensive back-wise it's actually crazy, because working with CD and you work with Slay, they got to play each other. You know, you work with N'Keal Harry, you work with Xavier Howard, you see them play each other. Odell, I work with Joe Hayden, you see them play each other. And everything I do for receivers is a lot of man press coverage, you know, getting out that focus. And a lot of things I do for defensive backs is man press coverage, you know. So I do releases for man press for receivers and man press coverage, movement efficiency for defensive backs. So when I had like 8 guys that link up that had to face each other this year from different teams. It was crazy. Like I'm not. So they're all got good talent. Like there's not one that's quicker than the other. Really. I mean, Miko Hardman probably got this. Is for somebody so fast, he probably has one of the quickest, really quick control discipline feet for somebody who can haul ass. You know what I mean? He can get outside these arms while having a lot of body control while moving you inside so he can go outside. But Odell can do it too. CD does it, man. I work so much with them. Like it's kind of hard. I mean, I do this for so long. I mean, I've been doing this for so long that everybody kind of seems slow, really. You know what I mean? So, so it's kind of hard. But they're moving. But I'm so used to that speed it's hard to tell. But they're all good. I mean, the list is big, and they're all good. So it's kind of hard to see. Odell probably the one that does the most. Like he do shit I ain't never seen before during training. Like I'm like, dude, Odell does everything y'all see about Odell. He does. He is different.
That is awesome. That is so cool. I know we were talking about Odell pre-show, and you had some good stuff to say. So for Odell fantasy owners, there may be reason to believe still in Odell. For me, my question I got is we know running backs and wide receivers are two completely different beasts, two completely different breeds, especially from a training aspect and from a footwork aspect. What are the biggest differences in drills that you run between a running back and a wide receiver? And why do these differences exist at the positions?
Well, the thing is, while most people, the NFL draft guys or analysts or GMs, they look at the 40-yard dash, but you got to work footwork at the at press coverage. You know what I mean? So it all starts with release with receivers. That's more important, more valuable than just top end speed because one, you got to get out the phone booth. Two, you just can't run through a defender. Three, you got to bring them out one way and then get back inside of them so you can stack them up and then run your route. And it's the same thing with running backs in a way but it's just more running backs. It's just more everything's through tight area, tight confined area. They got to get skinny. They got to, their body's got to go at all kind of different kind of angles. You got to have good feel, good vision. A lot of our running back drills are reactionary. But they have more stuff they got to do. If you ever see stuff I do, like with David Montgomery or Don, or like it's one thing after another thing after another thing. First line of defenders, second line of defenders, third line of defenders. Receivers, it's just mainly just get moving that defensive back off the spot and then getting back vertical where you can run and then break. So receivers is really quick. It's just something quick at the line, and then get it to your route. Running backs and defensive backs have the toughest. Their footwork is more complex. We're very, very complex because their feet can't stop. If you watch a run back with dead feet, they're not going nowhere. It's like a boxer with dead feet. You're probably not going to win that fight. So, like, running backs got to keep their feet moving. And if you notice a lot of the ones that I work with, like David and stuff like that, like they can – their body angles can change, their cutting ability, their change direction. Everything is efficient. Their feet never come off the ground. If you don't see any of my running backs' feet come off the ground until they get past that second level. Because anytime your feet are off the ground in traffic, you're not going anywhere. So your feet just skim the turf. So you watch a lot of my guys are just grazing the turf as they're making moves, cutting up field. It's crazy. You got to slow it down while they're watching. And then once they break loose, then the knee drive comes in. So you see a lot of big back stuff. Like a lot of big back stuff with running backs and stuff. No, they're not. For what? That means their feet are coming off the ground. You know what I mean? You can't just – big backs are good if you want to break tackle and stuff like that. But a lot of times – for instance, if you watch David, by the time he gets the ball, he got somebody in the backfield already, So he don't have time to knee drive don't work, He got to make a miss. And Jet McKinnon the same way, but everything is so reactionary. And I set everything up like they're going to get the 9-man front. But if we're going to get the 9-man front, we give you the ball, what can you do? So I give them totally different situations. It's pretty fun to watch. And receivers is just really just if you look at check it out. So running backs and linebackers go hand in hand. Cornerbacks and receivers go hand in hand. O linemen and D linemen go hand in hand. So everything I do with my linebackers, it's the same thing. Being able to maneuver through traffic, just like a running back got to maneuver through traffic. So if I'm a linebacker, I got to get the running back. I got to maneuver through all the traffic. Same thing with a running back. Like receivers and DBs, receivers got to release forward, DBs got to match their footwork going backwards. People make it they overcomplicate the technique part and the footwork mechanic part of a receiver and defensive back. The main job is don't let the dude get outside your arms. You know what I mean? He got to stack back up. So as long as you match, if I'm lined up with Odell right now, and I'm splitting Odell half a man. If Odell steps to the right, if the DB steps to the right, he can't go nowhere. So if Odell pushes vertical, I take a step back, he still can't go anywhere. Why? Because I'm in front of him. He can't run through me. And open your arms up, and he can't run outside those arms. So you got to do something to get him off balance, moving one way, and then and it takes a lot of different type of things. I might do a quick speed release, but if that defensive back recovers, we got to have a secondary release. I work a lot of secondary releases. A lot of guys, I don't see a lot of guys doing that. I'm always in oh shit mode, always. That's why you got to train these guys, because it can't be cookie cutter, because once you say hut, everybody goes everywhere. So it's hard to kind of it's hard to kind of like make it flow. Like a lot of guys do this. Like a lot of coaches might have to do this running back drills, but in a game, it's not gonna be like that. Everybody will be all over the place. So I saw, yeah, it's tough. But working with some interior linemen like Roy Robinson Harris and Danielle Hunter and Ed Oliver, that helps me out with running backs as well. Receivers and receiving DB is the same thing, man. But overall best footwork, the DB is dead Slate by far.
I like to hear that.
Hey, you see that drill? You see that drill I did with Slate? Man, I had him going a whole length of my field. I was like, he had a pedal, he had a transition to a shuffle. I might say pedal again. I might say shuffle, pedal. He's doing that while his feet never turn, and I open up and he runs. But I'm running at him. I got to pull the video up. It's at my facility. I'm literally running at him. That just tells you how well Slade's feet are like hands. And his hips are on a swivel. But he can pattern match any receiver in the league going backwards. He's yeah. That's why like top high paid DB. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's up there. Yeah, he's definitely. I think he's top 5. Definitely top 5. But that's definitely some cool stuff there about wide receivers and running backs, and they are very unique and so different. And you got to watch them with a completely different mentality, because they're going to do completely different things. So definitely cool. Jim?
Yeah, man. So I know this is going to be a pretty generic question, but like for young kids getting into the game at the high school level, maybe not sure about exactly what position they're going to focus on going forward, what would be like the best thing for them to work on or to think about in terms of their footwork? Like, is there like a generic drill like you start off with for regardless, like, what I mean, when a high school kid comes to you?
Well, man, football's king down here in Texas, man. So when I get a lot of my guys are in high school, I'll be having them since they're like little. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you how many I done seen go and take all the way to the NFL, man. Like we work the basic mechanics, right? Just coordinate, so we do some ladder stuff. I'm gonna do some quick octagon stuff. If you watch a lot of the stuff that I do drill wise, the movement that we're doing is the movement that they have to do at their position, And so I just work on working on basic body control, working on agility, working on moving in short area, quickness in short area. A lot of high school kids are heavy footed. They don't know how to. They don't even know how to. Some of them don't even know how to run. So I just stick to the basic stuff. A couple of hurdle stuff. But a lot of just short area quickness stuff. A couple cone drills, change direction drills, hip flipping drills, stuff like that. I just work the feet, the hips, the balance, and the body control, and the change direction. And once you get all that going, now you can start going into all right, position they work, what position they play, then start easing up. I do everything in a progression series. So if you play receiver, the first thing I work on is most people work on routes. I'll work on releases first at the beginning. All right, let's get open first before we get out. You know what I mean? Let's figure out how to get off the defensive back first, and then we can go into our route. And then we go to the apex of the route, and then work on like breakpoint mechanics, and then we go into like catching the ball. I don't use a lot of footballs in a lot of my work until like close to the season, because in the younger guys, the high school guys, they're so worried about getting to the route that they'll get everything else technique and mechanic wise of getting open. Their stances, their releases, how to attack leverage, looking at the demeanor of the defensive back, how to stack, how to stem, what route to run, how to use your eyes. So I teach my high school receivers that stuff as well. Same thing with, and I'm able to talk to them in a way like, especially ones that have been out with me for a long time. The stuff I use with my pros, I do the same thing with them. It just makes them, every high school receiver I got in high school, they're unguardable. You can't find a high school DB that can actually really know how to cover. They can run, but can you cover? These guys can't cover. We had them guys going on all over the place. But they're taught. They're fundamentally taught technique, and they understand everything. It's actually kind of cheat code. Because you think about Courtney Davis, C.D. Lamb, Mike Woods, I got at Arkansas, Tay Barber, I got so many dudes. If you watch all my guys, they're like the badasses at each school. They're the best receivers at each school. They're the best running back at each school. Like Ed, Kendall Sheffield, Ed Oliver, Kendall Sheffield, Caleb Vaughn, C.D., Courtney, Shaywell Analua, which I've been telling everybody about him a couple years ago. He's on the Cowboys. He was a running back for TCU, 6'3", 230. And his freaking stability is unreal, man. I can't wait to coach. I hope Coach McCarthy gets him some reps. But I've been working with those guys all since high school. You get to the college, it's still easy for them, because they're just a step ahead of the game already. So it's just I'm able to pour that type of knowledge and that mindset of what I'm doing with my pros to my college, to my high school kids and my college guys, so we can get to, because that's the level we're trying to get to. I just got different ways of explaining it. I think it makes sense to them, though.
I like that too. It's fucking sweet.
Yeah, it's definitely cool, especially like if you're in high school and you're looking to get somewhere, it's like to be spoken to like a pro and to be treated like a pro. That's the best way to do it, or else you're never gonna get your game to that next level that you need to get to. So I like that, definitely.
Hell yeah!
Like it breeds the work ethic, right? Like work like a pro. Yeah. That's what you want to be, right?
You want to be a pro, you gotta, and I got the opportunity to come and watch some of these guys and stuff too. So I got some receivers out in high school. So in July, I'll have them come and watch me work with whatever wideouts I have. I train everybody. All my pros, we're all working. It's like certain positions. Like everybody's receivers, I might have Miko and the kill together. You know what I mean? So I do. So I might have some receivers watch them. All right. If I got some edge rushers, I have them come out there when I watch Daniil or Ed Oliver. Or Kevon Tyson. If I got some cornerbacks, I have them come out when I want training Xavier and Kendall Sheffield and Lonnie Johnson. Whoever. And watch how I train them guys. But I don't cut back on them dudes, man. I got my mindset is like, look, whoever we're competing with, they gotta quit their switch positions. So I gotta make sure that whenever I get to college, coaches can check out. All right? They all look at measurables first. I'll look at movement, efficiency, and technique. Go by that first. I don't look at the length, okay, but especially at corner, man. You don't want no 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" corner. You don't want that's too damn tall. If you look at the best corners in the league, Darius Slay 5'11", Joe Hayden 5'10". Shit, Xavier about 6 even. Denzel Ward 5'11", Kendall Sheffield 5'10". Man, you got some elite defensive backs, man, that are not tall, but their movement, efficiency, and their technique, they're dogs, So I try to put that. I instill that in my high school kids as well.
I like that, yeah, because one of the things that I preach is like you need to have skills that translate to the NFL level. If you don't, the skills, it don't matter how you measure, because you're just not going to succeed. So you can watch tape, you can crunch film all you want on these guys and say, I don't know if I like this guy, he's too short, or I don't know if I like this guy, he's got slow feet or something like that. But it's like, if you don't have like the skills and all you're looking at is the metrics, then you're not going to translate. Like we've seen some freak athletes translate to the NFL, but at the end of the day, you can't teach athleticism, but you can teach skill. But it's better if you come with the skill, that skill set that you can just jump right into the NFL and you work with what you got. So that's a good point that you make.
The margin for error in the NFL is real slim. very slim. So like if a receiver and a DB going to get each other, they need a little bit of separation. You know what I mean? Like you got to be skillful. You can't. And I'm like, you don't. And then they think about the size of receivers. I hear them talking about. Well, people ask me, why am I picking guys like Jalen Darden, Jalen Waddle? They're both from Houston, and then like Jamar Chase. Why do I think they're going to be top? I'm saying they should all could be receiver one. Why? Because all the NFL defensive backs I train, they're going to have more trouble with them than a big receiver. Them guys are shifty, they're sudden, they're quick out of the break, they're too dynamic, they're too slippery. You can't lay a finger on them. Those are the guys that they fear. They don't fear big receivers, man. They don't.
So you're telling me that the people who are making a scene about Jalen Darden's 4.4 time or 40 time should just stop talking about the 40 time. Watch the tape. Watch the skill.
Put a DB.
Absolutely.
Hey, whatever DB they want to draft, whatever defensive back they want to draft, put him in front of Jalen. I bet Jalen will rip him up. But look, I thought CD ran a 4.55. The Raiders coach, he ran 4.55. Okay, I told him he still is the best receiver in the draft. Like he catch ability, catch radius, he can release the whole nine. Sure enough, Ruggs over there trying to outrun people saying track. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. No, you got to release. Like, you got to figure out. No, you can't run in front of them. You can't run through them. So you can't run around them either. So I know like, and Jalen's the same way. Like I know Jalen has everything. I'm telling you. The dude is unreal. He's very sudden at the line. You ain't gonna be able to get a finger on him. I don't see many defensive backs really. They don't really hard. They don't really in the NFL. They don't really shoot hands like right off the back. They wait till the receiver makes a move, then they might throw a hand. Jalen is so. Jalen Waddle and Jalen Darden. I'm telling you, man, them dudes. They're so quick. Release quickness, man. They can get skinny. They can drop the shoulder and just. I'm telling you, man, I've been watching them dudes, man, high school. And I just know what they do. Yeah, I
love that. I love that, man. As an Eagles fan, I know they're looking at Waddle, and I'm not Howie. I just do mock drafts for fun, but man, I had Jalen Darden late, like in some mocks, because we just lost to Sean Jackson. Like we need someone who's quick, and then he's gonna burn down the field. And Jalen Darden's that type of guy that I'm just like, oh man, he looks some good in midnight green. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, dude, y'all love Jalen Darden, man. My boy Jalen Reagan over there too. He's gonna have a healthy year. He's like healthy,
yeah.
But Jalen Waddle work as well. So you got some speed over there. If y'all get one of them, Jalen Waddle, he got a vertical, man. He can leap his ass off, man. I don't know if anybody knows how he can jump. He literally 2-hand jam, and he can get up there. So he's another one.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna overanalyze it and go get. I don't even know the receivers. Well, they're talking about Devontae Smith's being 160 pounds. I'm like, Miko's was 175 pounds, and nobody, like, what are they? The weight don't have nothing to do with anything,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Devontae.
I love it. I love it. No, I think the same way. I think like I said, translatable skills, and you don't have to stress some of those other things. No, you don't have to stress every little metric. But speaking of NFL to college football, if you could bring one rule from the NFL from NFL to college, what rule would you bring, and why? I know you work with some people who you probably have to figure it out.
I wouldn't want to bring no rules to oh, no rules, man. Man, golly, hey, man. I talked to Odell after the Cleveland Browns Jets game. I'm like, the dude's better take off his visor. I'm like, hold up. There's like 10 dudes with dark visors. I'm like, God, you can't touch the quarterback now. They'll fine you $25,000. One of my boys, Daniil Hunter, I think it's Daniil. I forgot what game it was. Had the quarterback wrapped up, but ended up letting him go because Daniil was going to slam him. Man, quarterback, he let him go just thinking they were going to blow a whistle. Man, dude got out the pocket, threw a touchdown. I don't know if it's I want to bring the guy. Daniil was pissed because Daniil, if you would have tackled, dude, the way he came at him so strong, almost on block. He beat the left tackle and just he wrapped him up. He let him go. Man, but
I remember
don't-
that. It looked like he was going to
I-
slam him. It looked like he was going to land like full body weight, and he just kind of let him go. And I was like, "Oh my god, he let him go!"
They just fined Clay Matthews like 2 times prior to. Clay was pissed. I'm like,
Yeah, I would have took the fine.
Yeah. So I mean, so it's the rules, man. There's not many rules. I just, man. I don't know, man. I don't. The NFL rules, man, they're strict. At least in college, the only rule. This is what I'll take. Well, instead of getting fined in college, you get to miss it. That whole targeting rule, I hate it. I hate it, man. That whole targeting rule, man, in college. The reason being because a lot of those rules, man. One of my boys, Donovan Wilson, he's safety for Cowboys now. Like, he would hit so hard, but the receiver would just duck his head. So it's like Donald is right head placement, but he can't help the receiver duck his head. He got kicked out like 3 games, man. Like he missed the first half of like 3 games over targeting stuff. So, but in NFL, if you do that, you get fined. So it's hard. That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. I don't know anything. I don't know.
Yeah, the rule each league has its own weird niches and differences and like I mean the targeting rule I've seen a few, like sometimes it's just a hard hit and it's just a matter of perception of the referee and it looks worse than it actually is, and then they slow it down and it's like, well, this is something that we're gonna have to talk about tomorrow kind of situation. Same with the NFL and the protecting of quarterbacks and stuff. Like each game has its weird little niches that need to be fixed by. I mean, at the end of the day,
those rules, check those rules out. I look at them rules. I'm like, you know what? If I'm a referee, if I'm gonna do betting, you can't hit the quarterback because if you take quarterback out, you're going down. You ain't gonna win. You know, a quarterback getting hurt is huge. And then, like any kind of targeting rule, I mean, like it's 15-yard penalty because a top guy can be. Is it 15? I don't know what it is, but like I look at, I don't know, man. So it's just weird rules, man. I'm like, man, these dudes must got money on the line or something, man, because this stuff don't make sense, you know. When I watch Jared Goff run like 30 yards, like what the fuck? I go, no wonder Jared Goff run 30 yards. He can't nobody touch him. I run the ball all day too. Nobody's ever seen Jared Goff run the ball until no quarterback rule comes out. I don't know.
I'd like to see like overtime in the NFL be like college. I'd like to see the NFL adapt that.
Yes.
And like because the reason I was thinking about this question is because like there is like one rule from each I would like to bring, and it's the overtime from the CF or from college football to the NFL.
Yeah.
And it bothers me so much in college. This rule is, my entire life I was told like college is supposed to like breed men and young adults for the real world. Why the fuck is it 1 foot down in college for wide receivers?
Hey, that's the easy shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I don't understand that either. It's like, why can't? I'm like, why don't they, like the next step is pros? It like let them get just learn
right. The next step is pros.
So what happens is they get to NFL. What happens? The boys don't know what they're doing. In the end zone, they don't get both feet in. They only get one in. And the other one, they long shot. I've seen that shit happen so many times. I'm like, you don't work on toe drag, bro. You know,
it drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. That's the one rule I'd like to bring from the NFL to college level is 2 feet down, because I've seen a lot of guys that they can't get that second foot down. They hit the white line when they're trying to drag. They can't drag. Like that's something. Oh my God! Do you actually? That's something I want to ask you on your receivers. Do you work on toe drags?
Oh yeah, come do tap all day. I do back shoulder toe drags, corner of the end zone toe drags. What I do something where I'm throwing a ball. Like one of my coaches will throw the ball, and I have a towel on. So I have a towel right here. So the arms are right here. So once they go up, I'll pull it down. Right. So they gotta fight for the ball, get contested catch while getting 2 feet in. You look at the width of my field, it's like 28 inches, 28 feet. I'm 60 by 28, no, 60 by 30. So you can't, a lot of stuff we're doing like is right there on the goal line, you know? I got to show you some training videos, man, of me throwing so many crazy balls in the corner where CD has to adjust to them. Because I ain't a good quarterback. If you want a good catching ability, you just have a shitty quarterback. So I'm throwing it in the spot, and CD got to look for it. And then you watch me get the Vikings. Andy Dalton
Yeah.
throw a fade route, right? It was a fade ball. CD's gonna be like, "What the fuck the ball at?" And then dude just turned inside and made that catch. Unreal. I thought CD,
Yeah, I was
hey, bro,
gonna
all the
say
bad
I've
balls
seen
I throw.
some nice plays by CD Lamb, some nice toe tapping, some good ball tracking plays, and all comes
Yeah.
back to you, right?
Well, the things is like I work my pro guys, my college guys like pros, so we can help get, But you got to drill different kind of aspects of the game. So so for instance, I work out with my pro receivers. Monday would be all releases. Wednesday would be all breakpoint mechanics. Friday would be all ball drills. Every different kind of ball drill, bad ball drill, low ball drill. I got, I don't know if you see anything I got with the dummies. I got all sorts of different kind of drills to catch the ball, contested catches. I'm huge on contested catches, and that's something that CD brings. Out of the draft pick last year, how many dudes you see go across that middle? 2. CD, Lamb, or Courtney Davis. Courtney's on the Colts with A&M. A lot of dudes don't make a lot of contested catches. I don't see many making contested catches. They're all on the perimeter. I remember Judy making none. You don't see a lot of guys go across that middle. They're scared to go, hey, a lot of boys got nuts go across the middle. You gonna get hit. So
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely, you're gonna get hit.
In college, man, I try to bring that in college. Look, y'all gotta show y'all got balls, man. Go up there and get it. That's something that a lot of college coaches have always been like. I like the contested catches, that these guys are. And I do some contested catches drills. Quarterback throws. My QB coach will throw a ball to them. I'm hitting it with a pad. Boom. Just kind of give them a kind of a real life look.
Yeah, and you definitely see it. You definitely see it. Like, there's a lot of guys who come out of college who they're like called contested catch guys, and like, I mean, I guess the Eagles have one of the worst in recent memory with JJ Arcega-Whiteside. But like, they look so good going over these DBs in college who are smaller or just big guys with no speed or something, and then they come to the NFL and it's a whole different ball game. And I think that's why a guy like JJ, it just didn't translate because he wasn't actually a contested catch guy like people thought he was, or a red zone monster like people thought he was.
I want to see you snatching the ball out of the hands of the DB. Like, I want him to have a hand on the ball and you taking it out for like true contested catches.
You know who's good at? Let me tell you who's the sleeper in the draft, man. And I've been cool with him since the Army All-American game. See, all right, he plays for Stanford. Hey, y'all got to really watch your tape on it.
Is it Jonathan?
No, Fiocco.
Oh, yeah.
Fiocco. He went to Korea for like 2 years. But he was an Army All-American. If you watch his play, that dude has some of the best hands, aggressive at the point of attack. I mean, he reminds me of Des Bryant the way he high points balls. I mean, he's aggressive. He is a sleeper. Whoever gets him, I'll tell you, he is. You gotta really watch him.
He's another guy I kind of want in Philadelphia. I know we keep coming back to that, but like, there's so many needs in Philadelphia on the wide receiving side of the ball. Like, we could take a guy like Simi Fehoko, we could take a guy like Jalen Waddle, we could take a guy like Jalen Dart, and you know what? They could all fit and they could all make it.
You already have a lot of Jalen Darters and Jalen Waddles though right now. If you think about the kid from Boise State, y'all have Hightower, right? Or you got one from Mississippi State. No.
We got John Hightower and we got Quez Watkins. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you got
Jalen Rager, Travis Fulgham.
You guys got a bunch of wide receivers. You guys you need an alpha wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm real cool. I'm real cool with the receiver, the Eagles wide receiver coach, because the Eagles wide receiver coach was Courtney Davis' coach for Texas A&M.
Nice.
I love it.
I'm jotting down Simi Fehoko as my sleeper pick now.
Hey, you got
it was Jalen Dart.
Love it.
Jalen Darden was my sleeper, but people are hyping him now, man. Like, he's getting hyped now. Like, I can't get him everywhere. People are on him.
Yeah, Jalen Dart. He's Jalen the baller, man. Jalen's real good. I mean, stuff that he can do special. I'm real cool with his agent. His agent's the same agent as Courtney Davis, and Nikhil. So he do the baller. I know there's a few guys, man, like Trey Gowen from University of Central Florida. Another
Yeah,
sleeper cornerback.
I love him.
Right
He
now.
doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough hype either. When everyone's talking about J.C. Horn, who I love, and Surtain, they're not talking about Gowan, man.
JC CB1.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying he's not,
Gowan
but
two. Jason Horn CB1.
but-
But Gowan motherfucker two. That motherfucker
but
cold.
Gowan doesn't get talked about with the other ones, and it's disappointing to me too. I'm like a closet UCF fan, man. Like
Yeah.
I've been realizing this. Like I'm an Auburn fan, really, but like man, like I love
you Auburn
Gowan.
fan?
Like I was, yeah.
Hey, my boy's up there quarterbacking. Hey, Demetrius Davis. He's an Auburn. Yeah, he won. I mean, he won two state championships down here at North Shore High School. He is bad. He's a badass. He is very good. He was the same school as Caleb Von Chison and Eric Monroe. Like he's an Auburn freshman. But he is like J.C. Horn is the best man press coverage corner I've seen in college. I watched him in man. I watched him playing off. And I mean, I watched him just mimic these dudes' routes step for step. I mean, technique flawless, mechanics flawless. Same thing with McGowan. I know, like a Sonny Samuel Jr. and Patrick Surtain, they're good, but a lot from what their dad did is going to be play a lot of. It's going to be a big role in them getting drafted, like before those guys. But Trey going to have a lot, a long years in the NFL, because one, if his mindset. If you think about Trey McGowan, like he got a little daughter, and when I hear him talk, I'm like, he's already grown up. Right? He's not on the fool stuff. He's already grown up. He has to make it for his daughter. He gonna have whatever team he goes to, he gonna have a lot of success on it because he's already mentally here. I'm gonna have him after the draft. I'm gonna tighten him up before he goes off to wherever he's going.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love to hear that, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I was telling like the boys, I must be like over the last couple of years like a closet UCF fan because like I said, I love Gowan. Like Gabe Davis is another guy like I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Just been watching, right? So I'm like,
Bills,
all these guys, like I'm looking around. I'm like, all these guys are from Central Florida. I'm like, oh man, that must be my other team.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they got some good guys coming out of Florida.
Absolutely.
Big talent pool down there. I think we got a big talent pool down here in Texas. A lot of guys. We don't have too many guys that go out of state that much. Like Waddle went out of state to Bama. Kyle Trask is from Texas. Kyle Trask and Derek King went to the same high school.
I'm a huge Kyle Trask guy.
Oh, here we go. Just naming everybody
Derek
he
King
loves
is-
right
Derek
now.
King is-
I like that, man. It's like you're naming everybody I love.
Yeah. They
So
went to high school, man. So Kyle can ball. Yeah, him and Derek King in Miami. He'll come out next year.
oh
Yep.
yeah. So you've worked with some legends for sure. So who's left the biggest impression on you and why? Could be training, could be personal.
Well, I think Odell left because once I was with Odell, I'm living in LA for a month. The way Odell does things, like he had me up there, he had his track guy, Ricky Morgan had his recovery people, he had chef. I mean, Odell does things when he trains. I'm telling you, it's like a lot of my guys. Like it's dudes locked in, and he got everybody there when we go to work. But living with Odell for a month, hanging with him, talking to him, stuff like that, you realize he's just the biggest misunderstood person in the world. The dude is very genuine, authentic, real, hard worker. He gives a lot to like kids, like for cliques or 7-on-7 stuff. Like, I mean, Odell he just misunderstood. I think they misunderstood his passion for the game as cockiness. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you one, like when you play wide out, you got to go with you got to be on that line with some confidence. You know what I mean? You go out there, the most successful athletes in the NFL, they're highly confident. We just misunderstood, man. But all my guys are great guys. But he left the biggest impression, man. Because I really got to know him, man. Man, dude's cool, genuine dude, very hardworking dude. I mean, we're catching 500 footballs off the jug machine after every workout. People wonder why he got sticky hands. Everybody's, he got 4XL hands. Okay, yeah, he does got big hands, but the dude works. works. I mean, like I'm talking about catching the ball from different angles on the jug machine every day after practice, man. I mean, after every workout. No complaints. The dude practices what he preaches. You know, he just don't sit out there and rely on his gifts. The dude's very gifted. You know, fast. But the things he does, I mean, y'all seen him snatch balls off people's head, catch one-handed, off balance. What? Man, there's not many people that can do that. He did it twice. You know, against Cleveland and against the Cowboys.
Before we move on there.
So
Yeah, before we move on to our next question, we actually have a question from a viewer about a wide receiver out of Texas named JoJo Earl, and he asked, "Have you watched him or worked with him?"
No, I heard the kid. I think he's at Lido High School. I heard him, but I haven't been able to watch him. I think he's still in high school, I believe.
Yeah, he committed to Alabama.
I heard him.
Yeah, definitely a name to potentially watch in the years coming, I guess. 5'9.5", 170, huh? Sounds definitely a little shorter than Devontae Smith, but there's a body type there.
I'm going to tell you who the number one receiver in college football about to be. My boy. His name is Damon Demas. He's at Texas A&M. All right, 6'4", 190, 4'3", jumps 45. And you ever see that Nike opening where the kid did the backflip and just kind of like levitating? That's Damon Demas. All right, very special. Yeah, he's a freshman at A&M, but he is the freakish. He is. I'll tell you, comparison Julio Jones. Y'all see what I'm talking about when y'all look him up. It's Julio.
I'm looking him up right now. Holy
Damon Demas, 6'4", about 190, jump. He can run. Fearless, freak. I mean, he runs the ball like he's 5'10".
Man, he's across the board.
His name is Damon Demas.
Yeah, he's definitely ranked extremely high coming out, so that'll be interesting. Taking a note, Jim, you got the next question there.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just taking some notes here, man. I'm getting schooled. Sorry. Footwork is obviously a pivotal point, right? And you're obviously the king. So I was just particularly wondering what position on the NFL field do you really feel it's the most important to get the footwork down? Like whether it's say the RB trusting his feet, getting shifty in tight spaces like you're saying, whether it's the wide receiver where wasted steps you can't get off of press coverage, or like the cornerback where you get your hips flipped, you can get a big play and cost you the game.
All right, footwork is important. So I'll tell you one, quarterbacks. You watch all them off throws to Baker Mayfield, his feet were bad. I mean, the quarterback feet got to be on point. Like their drop steps with their toes, and that is one of the biggest things. Like not many of those guys can throw a platform. Like Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how Mahomes does it, but Mahomes is able to throw a platform and be accurate. But if they're doing like a really 5-step drop, 7-step drop, 3-step drop, you know, like their footwork for quarterbacks has got to be on point. A lot of that stuff times up with the routes. And defensive backs, you know, defensive backs do everything in reverse. You know, so they're not running, they're doing everything and going backwards. So they got some of those, their footwork has to be on point. You just can't run. You can't be a 4-3 or 4-2 dude to play defensive back. You know, you gotta be a quick-footed, loose hip cover specialist. You know, good eyes, football IQ. You know, man press scoring, know how to press. You know how to bail, squat defender, off defender. Like that's a hard position because you don't know the route. You gotta really, you know, run that route for him. You know, going backwards and stuff. So that's tough. You know, linemen too. You know, lateral directional movement for linemen. They gotta have good. They gotta really all positions. You know, a lot of times if you see anybody get beat, an O lineman beat a D tackle or DN beat a low lineman, probably somebody got to step ahead of the other person. You know. Same thing with receivers, you know, DBs, you know. When somebody gets beat in that little box, it's probably somebody's footwork quicker than the others, you know. Running backs, you know, make a guy miss, make a guy go his way, you know. So it all starts from the ground up. You know, people put more emphasis on like speed and strength and all that, but I'm like, movement matters. It starts with the feet. You know, like everything is footwork. Everything starts with the feet. Everything, you have to have proper steps. Quarterbacks got proper drop steps. Receivers got proper steps when they get into the route and on the break. Running backs got, it's all footwork in traffic. DBs got to have controlled feet because they're skating really going backwards, So that's what I bring to the game, and being able to work with every position helps me out with every position. Being able to train receivers helps me big time with DBs, vice versa. Because I know how I literally can watch. I've done this so much for so long that I can literally watch. If somebody gets beat, I can tell you exactly what happened, just like that. Slow it down. It's gonna be a footwork issue. It's easy. Yeah. There's never a speed issue. It's always something to do with feet. I watched Rashawn Gary come off the edge, right, against the Bears. He made the tackle kick vertical. No, he made the tackle kick out. Gave Rashawn Gary a two-way move. All right, Rashawn Gary stuck out here. Lineman took that bait. Rashawn, inside. Heavy-footed lineman ain't gonna get there. It doesn't matter what technique you was, but if you're a lineman, you got to be able to mirror that. You got to mirror that guy. So, let's do Trent, but Trent got good feet. I hope to work with Trent this summer. He lives out here too in Houston. Trent Williams, Trent a beast, man. He had him. Trent Cole.
That's odd. That's definitely so cool. I mean, they're definitely every position has its things. I mean, I've always had a thing for cornerbacks and a lot of respect for them because so much, especially as the league becomes more pass heavy, so much lands on their shoulders. And all it takes is just a small move by a wide receiver and they're burnt and they're sitting on the bench and they're done for the game and stuff. Like I always found that position would be just so crazy difficult to play. Like with the high football IQ, the good footwork, the ability to mirror, like a guy like JC Horn you talk about, that ability to mirror, you don't see that often in any cornerback class. Like that is super impressive. And that's just high football intelligence. And that's just always so much. I've never played football in my life. I mean, I'm a tiny guy here. So, but like, I always had so much respect for corners, man. And the more you see it passing becoming an essential part of the game, the more I'm sitting there like, damn, corners got it tough. But when they're good, they are good.
You're Darius Slade. Watch Darius Slade. Watch Darius Slade against Terry McLaurin. Darius Slade. After the video, I'm going to see y'all. Darius Slade versus Terry McLaurin 2 years ago. Or whatever. Not sure. Watch Slade match pattern for pattern. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch.
He ran the gauntlet this year. I felt bad for Slay. I think he was fighting with some injuries, and then he dealt with like Thomas and then Metcalf, and he ran the gauntlet. Let me tell you, and we had no support on the other side of the field for him. So I feel for him.
Zero. Ain't no support back there at safety either. I don't know what Jalen was at. Shit.
Jalen Mills too. Oh man. Why I could talk all night.
The defense don't suck. The defensive scheme sucks because Ja'Nari Avery should have always been linebacker. Run. I'm like, man, there was not much cover two ran, man. The defense was weird, man. You run the cover like.
It was a very specific defense, cover two focus with a massive focus on the front four, and if the front four weren't creating pressure, it collapsed around them, everybody. And that was just Jimmy Schwartz, man.
Got good pass rush. Well, every good secondary got good pass rush. And them not giving Jannard is a very good pass rusher. I don't like it. Dude. Schwartz, I can't. He's killing.
Listen, you trust me. I've been an Eagles fan for over a decade now. Let me tell you, you scratch your head, I scratch my head daily about the Philadelphia Eagles. So don't worry.
Well, I do with the Bears too, man. So yeah, I do with the Bears. I got to talk to Coach Nagy though a couple weeks ago. I got to talk to him on FaceTime because I was training David Montgomery. I'm like, dude, if you give the ball to David like 30 times a game, y'all probably win a lot of games. But like David gets the tempo, he can take it out. I'm like, dude, he's a volume back. The more carries he gets, the better he's gonna get. You can't go put Cordell Patterson in there and sweep to the outside. It ain't gonna work. Oh no! But I like argument. I'm like, dude, I want these coaches to ask me, coach, what are they not looking at? Like, I don't understand what they're not looking at. Like find mismatches. Put the receiver too. I mean, it's like he had so much talent out there, he didn't know what to do with it. But I don't know.
Love it. That is hilarious. That is
Yeah.
so great. The same mentality we all have with coaches sometimes. The NFL recently went from 16 to 17 games, and there's a lot of talk about the impact that's kind of on the bodies, especially of running backs and stuff. You've worked with some players who've played through injuries or made comebacks from major injuries. Do you believe the concerns for an extra game are very real for players and their bodies? What do you think NFL teams will do to help lessen the impact on some of their top weapons? And I mean, I think we have an opinion on the most effective position being running back, but what's your opinion on what position will be most affected by an added game and this added mileage?
It could be 10-game season, 11-game season, 12-game season. My pro dudes go all bitch about all 20 games. They all, I'm telling you. They all gonna bitch about it, dude. I'm like, so you already know. I've been hearing them bitch about it. The 17 games. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna go to preseason. I'm like, dude. Hey. But they were the less games possible for them. But they I don't know, man. They're kind of players are protected now, man. Like the quarterbacks are protected. So it's wear and tear on their body because the recovery times on it. Is you got Thursday night games now. I mean, so you might have a Saturday game, a Monday night game, Thursday night game. They hate Thursday night game. I have not had one of my pro guys that like Thursday night games. It's not enough recovery.
We don't like Thursday night games.
Yeah, so it's so having 17 games. I mean, some of them will probably take. They'll be surprised how many of them will not play. That's the thing about fantasy. With fantasy, sometimes I'm like, I don't play it, but I'm like, if I did play it, I'd probably be pretty good at it. Because some of the dudes they say are injured, they're really not injured. They're just I call my boys all the time. I got a lot of top dudes. I'm like, hey, you're not playing? Hey, man, you're not playing today? Like, man, centers. So, probably not, man. Fantasy time. Play next week. But on fantasy, be like, he's going to be playing. Then last minute, y'all know he's not playing. But I've been on the entire week he wasn't playing. Yeah.
It's like load management in basketball. You just don't realize it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, it has to happen. It just doesn't get told or talked about, right?
Don't get talked about. Man, it's crazy how many times they sit there and let everybody know. Like, it's not the player. The player's probably already told the coach and whatnot, but if they don't say it until it's like start him or sit him. I'm like, do y'all know this dude's not playing? Like, they're saying that like Debo saying, I was like, man, no, Debo's not coming back. Like right now, like, just talk to Debo. Say his hamstring's hurt. They'll say they got him on here. People start him or sit him. Some people are picking him. I'm like, he ain't playing. This is before the game started, though. So they probably didn't know. He was dressed out, but he didn't play. I knew he wasn't playing. He told me he wasn't gonna play. So.
Wow. Wow. You got the next one, Jim?
Yeah, man. So for me, I was just wondering real quick for 2021 in this class, who would be the best in your eyes, the best pure running back in this class? And then if you were to look at the 2020 class, which was touted as a really, really good class, and the 2021 class, like what were the biggest differences that you noticed? Is like one class far superior or seemed pretty even to you?
2020 class, last year's class.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre
Swift,
Jonathan Taylor.
Oh yeah, Kayvon Tyson, JT, GD, Grant Delpit. Man, 2020 class was stacked. But Trey best running back in the draft. That's RB1. All right, Trey Sermon. Yeah, we're not going wrong with Trey Sermon. I promise you.
There it is.
But look, if people really analyze his game film, stuff like that, and analyze everybody else's as far as like Travis Etienne, and like Travis Etienne is not really an agile running back. He got a lot of power, but can he create? If I get Travis Etienne, can he create? You don't really see him making dudes miss. You know, once he gets going, but you got to get going first. But in NFL, it's not gonna be like that. Everything closes quickly. You know, Trey is very elusive. He can get the ball and pick and slide through traffic. You know, make the jump cuts you need to get past the second level. Make the cuts you need to get past the second level, and then move the change. You know, so he's by far he has all that, like the tools that they're looking for. I mean, I've been working with Le'Veon, man, since he's on the Steelers. I'm like, all my guys are similar to like playing style, you know. There's not many. I knew James Conner wasn't like that. I know he's good, but he wasn't like he don't have the ability, man. Like I just can see it. And Trey Sermon has that, and I don't see any other running back besides the kid from North Carolina who really has that type of kind of like suddenness and quick twitch and foot speed and vision and cutting ability and feel, like a pinball, man, going through there. It just kind of, bounce off defenders. So I mean, like Najee, man, he's been working. He's big. I don't know. I wonder how big he is though now.
I think what was that? I think he was 6'3", 225.
I think he was 230 at one point. He was listed, but I like it because like
NFL from college.
Pardon?
You notice that with the first, if you watch running backs from college when they get to NFL, watch here too. You know what they do? They cut all that college weight.
Yeah,
college
they slim down.
Big and strong. NFL, if you can't move, you get cut. You gotta be. It's about moving efficiency and technique. You can't bully nobody in the NFL. Like it don't matter how big the receiver is over there, dude. That defensive back going across, we got a family for you, dude. I mean, it's gonna be doggy dog out here, So all that stuff gets thrown out the window. That's why a lot of guys are just like, you be like, man, do they lift weights? I mean, they get into the position where like they can move the best, So, I think Le'Veon might be at 208, playing this year. So I mean, that's what it's about, Najee gonna drop. I don't know when he's gonna drop, but man, if I can talk to him now, I'll tell him drop now. Drop now,
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be key. Yeah,
I like it because, like I
everybody
said,
can't beat Derrick Henry.
With all those running backs that you said, like Trey Sermon, at least in fantasy drafts, is a lot cheaper than any of those other ones. And like I said, when you're talking Najee Harris, he's probably like 104 in fantasy drafts. You're talking Javonte Williams, he's probably like 105 to 107. Trey Sermon, you're getting in the second round, man. And like I've been touting him for a while. Do you think the NFL might be a little concerned about his injury history? Like, you think that like GMs are going to be a little scared off on that?
The thing, like, well, he had an ACL injury and then he had an injury, ankle, then gets Bama. Man, he's something wrong with him, man. He's grabbing it. He's doing this. First play. It's unfortunate, but the tape talks, and any lower extremity injury that they might think he has, when they see me him working out here, cutting and sliding and all that kind of stuff, they're gonna know he's one because they know these NFL dudes know I go out here, man. These GMs, the scouts, whoever follow me and stuff, when they see the work that I post on these guys, we go. So any kind of limitations or any kind of thoughts about Trey not being a cut, change direction, they don't see it for me. But he bounced back from every injury. I mean, a lot of guys have ACL injuries. I mean, it's hard, man. Especially you're the horse on the team, But his tape from OU and the tape at Ohio State, that's enough for me to, I mean.
Oh, me too, right? Like when they needed him, and when Ohio State needed to close out games, they wrote him, right? Like that showed everything to me, and he can do it all. I mean, like you said,
he do it all.
They didn't really throw to him, but like you can't really knock that on a guy just because he wasn't asked to do it in college doesn't mean he can't do it. Like Melvin Gordon was a big one on that, right? Melvin Gordon got knocked big time. Can't catch. You just never asked to catch. Didn't need to. And like that's another thing I could try to tell people. Like college coaches don't give a shit really about like they want to win. Like that's all. Like they want to win. They don't really care that much about transitioning to the NFL. Like it's wins now, man. So like if you don't need to pass to a guy to show his highlights and for NFL, like, why would you?
That's why I got to showcase this stuff on the during training. Like one of my kids I've been training since he was 9 years old is Isaiah Spiller from A&M. He is RB1 next year. I shit you not. Go watch. Turn the tape on. What he doing? He killing defenders. He's 6'1", 208 pounds, killing them. I mean, you're gonna see blocking ability, elusive through traffic, run after the catch. I mean, you're gonna see. Watch Isaiah Spiller, man. Like he is, dude. Cutting ability is unreal. He gonna be, man. If he ain't RB1 next year, I don't know who is. But he can get the ball. You can let him at a receiver too. But Jimbo threw the ball to him a lot his freshman year. He didn't do it so much as like on little swing routes. I'm like, Clyde was hilarious at LSU. Oh man, Clyde was doing everything. Man, that slot, he was running out routes, all that shit. I'm like, damn, that's what we need to be at over there. They do it,
and it feels like in
you're right though.
It feels like in college they kind of have that like change of pace back. They got their power guy that they want to roll with because they talk about Spiller. Spiller does his thing, and he's at A&M, and they got what's his name, Aeneas there, the wide receiver, but they kind of use him as a running back as well.
Oh,
and that like sometimes, and same with Javonte Williams. No, but same with exactly. Yeah. I mean, but the perception is that because that's the majority of what you see out of the guy like Javonte Williams. You see him as his power back. He's elusive and stuff, but all the change of pace work, the passing work went to Michael Carter. So it's like you don't really get to see the full complement sometimes in college because they got 3, 4, 5 running backs at all times, whether it be a freshman all the way up to a senior, who all have a different role in the offense, it seems. And you just don't get to see the full complement.
You really don't, man. Everybody, like a lot of people always say Isaiah's a power back. I'm like, man, Isaiah ran over one person, the dude from Florida. After that, you watch his tape, he dudes miss. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, Isaiah knows, look, bro. Isaiah knows, look, we're not running over nobody, we're running by him. All right? We're taking ankles. And you'll see him making more guys miss than anything, you know. But it's just because he's tall, you know, thinking power. But what they don't get to see, you know, I'll make sure I showcase a lot of that, man. Catchability, you know, so because he can catch, he's all around back. He just college gets, college, you gonna stick to the script in college. They don't give a shit what you you know, I'm like,
that's why scouts have a job, because they got to figure out the garbage. They got to dig through the garbage and figure out what this guy's got, what this guy we're not seeing that he's going to have at the NFL level. That's why scouts and stuff got that job, those full-time jobs with teams. You've actually kind of dropped a couple. We want to talk about running backs and wide receivers in the upcoming 2022 and 2023 class. Kind of dropped a couple with Spiller and Demas. What's
Demas,
he's
2023.
Yeah, you'll be 2023. Do you got another wide receiver, running back that we can look towards in the next couple years?
Oh
maybe?
Yeah. You know it. I got my boy Mike Woods. My boy Mike Woods was at Arkansas. He just transferred to Oklahoma. All right.
Oh baby,
Oklahoma. He scored 2 touchdowns against Florida, 2 touchdowns against. But there have been a lot of quarterback issues at Arkansas. They get out of there. Mike. I've been training Mike and CD for the longest. If you watch Mike Woods and CD, they're both very similar. You know, dreads, size, very aggressive. They do everything violent. They run routes violent. They attack defense violent. They catch the ball violent. They block violent. You know, that's Mike Woods, another one. At Oklahoma, Isaiah Spiller at A&M, R.J. Sneed at Baylor. He'll catch anything down to him. 23-3, I got my boy Sterling Galvin at Texas Tech, number 22, slot. 4-3, Southern quickness. Hey, Wes Walker, Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, he's all that with the speed. Sterling Galvin, check him out, Texas Tech. I got Tay Barber over there at TCU, and also Trey Tomlinson. He plays cornerback at TCU. You know, TCU puts out a lot of corners. Trey Tomlinson will be the one. He need to be the number 1 nickel corner. Watch him be scrappy. You know, I think TCU might have 2 safeties going first round this year, but Trey Tomlinson is another one you got to look at. Who else? Mike. Mike, Isaiah.
Well, you definitely gave us a few to really think about.
I'm jotting down notes here. Jeez.
Trying
playing this 6 or 7 times.
They go. I'll tell you. I had last year. I had all right. Not this past year. The year before. No. I had Caleb Von Tyson first round. CeeDee Lamb first round. Did Grant go first? Grant did go first, did he?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where Grant went. But I had four. I'm missing one more boy. I had four more boys in the train that went their top picks. Where am I? Did Grant go second?
I'll tell
I
you.
forgot where Grant went. But I got a lot of top picks. Like I had Ed Oliver. I told everybody about Kendall Sheffield. I'm like, man, I've been training Kendall, man, working Kendall since high school. Kendall start cornerback for the Falcons. I'm like, man, like all these starts. Xavier Howard, he got drafted on my field. I mean, he got pissed off. We're pissed off because he got drafted second round. Now he just signed a $75 million. He signed a 5-year, $75 million, 4-year guaranteed contract. He got drafted on my field. I mean, his whole video, he's from Houston. I've been working with him since high school. I knew he was the best corner in the league. Man, dude had 10 picks this year. 10 interceptions. That brother right there had 10 picks. Hey, I'm training camp before I'm in Miami. You see, I'm not doing shit, dude. Let's talk about give me some more money. I had 10 interceptions. Like 10. Who else is having 10 picks? They just paid him like 5-year, $75 million for the guarantee. But man, he can go to the vault. He should have went second round. So many corners went before him. But man,
I love it.
Oh, this is crazy. I'm just in awe of like listening to these guys that you've worked with. I knew you worked with like some legends, don't get me wrong, but like Jesus, I didn't know it was like to that extent. You know what I mean? Like I knew you worked with like Manny Sanders and Lev Bell and Sammy Watkins but like
Debo Samuel and Jet McKinnon.
But like to hear that you've been with these guys like since high school, it's crazy. Or even sometimes a little bit before. Like it's absolutely crazy to me, man. Like to see that, like, how many people you've seen on that journey make it to the podium is fucking. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah, I told people that about Ed Oliver. I'm like, man, Ed Oliver the best D lineman in that draft. I'm like, Ed is a D lineman playing running back. I mean, a D lineman with running back skills, with the strength of a damn a strong man. Ed's a country boy, but he moves so fluid. He don't move like what the thing about Ed. I never trained Ed like a D lineman. I always trained him like a linebacker. Because he was just the D lineman was just too big and slow for him. So we worked on get off stuff like that, but he always trained him like a linebacker. So his movement skills when he's in traffic trying to chase the running back down. Or the quarterback, man, it's unreal. Relentless, very relentless. But he moves very well in tight spaces. And I've been seeing it for so long. I know what to work on these. I know what to work with these guys on that they won't see that nobody else will have when they get to college, or So work on it from college, and then we get to the NFL. Everything I'm working on with my pro guys. Just take that. Now you start getting more into the game of things. Situational stuff, schemes, defenses, stuff like that. How to read this, O-linemen and all that kind of shit. So, or corners or receivers. So you got to get more the mental part of it. You can be more athleticism in college.
This is absolutely fantastic, man.
I'll pass it over to you there, Jim, if you have any final question there before we wrap it up.
You know what? I'm not going to, because you've pretty much touched on a lot of this stuff. So I'm not going to ask that last question, but I do want to thank you again so much for coming on. I feel like a little bit of this. I've just been in awe, just kind of like jaw dropped listening to what you've been able to say. I definitely appreciate you coming on and spending some of your time with us. Awesome. If you just want to tell people,
I enjoy these.
Yeah, we love having guests on, especially ones that can bring such a unique spin there, like you, where it's focused all around footwork and stuff. It's really cool because usually we get guys who are like, analytics guys or film guys or something, but this is like a whole different ball game because this isn't something that analytics might speak to or that film's always going to speak to. So
when you watch how they train live, I'm seeing it in person, and the moves that they can do. So what they think they can't do, I can show you how they can do it. I can do it quick, accurately, and precision. That's probably why I do so many of these, because I think so many people know that I work with so many guys. Dude, I get so many people from podcasts, and for so many guys that I work with, it's crazy.
Love it. Well, we definitely appreciate you taking the time. If you want to let people know where they can find you on Twitter, where they can find you on Instagram, and where they can find the content, because I love you on Instagram. It's such a great follow. You get to see the drills as they're happening and stuff, and really cool stuff to watch.
Yeah, my Instagram is Footwork_King, and my Twitter is Footwork_King2. It's my new Twitter. Yeah. So my IG, Instagram is Footwork_King, and Twitter Footwork_King2. Yeah.
Awesome. And
any questions, man, anytime, y'all. I'll jump on these all the time.
Love it. And for our listeners out there, make sure to check out all the content at True North Fantasy Football, TrueNorthFFB.com, at True North FFB on Twitter, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something that we're on, but you can find us all over the place now. But until next week, we will see you next Tuesday.